Okay, welcome everyone to today's...
Recording in progress.
Sorry. There we go. Welcome everyone to today's 2 o'clock Commissioners Consent Agenda meeting. It is September 27th, 2022. Let the record reflect that all 3 commissioners are present. We will start off today. I will let people know that we did not receive any public written comments for the items on our consent agenda today. But we do start with an open public forum. So I will open that open public forum for anyone that wishes to testify on anything other than what's on our printed agenda. And I don't have anyone at this point saying they want to testify. Is there anyone online? Second call then for anyone wishing to testify. Third and final call. I will then close the open public comment period and move to our agenda. Please let the record reflect that we have stricken item number 2S from today's agenda. So that item has been stricken. And then I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I would move that we approve item 2A through V, V like in Victor, excluding item 2C or 2S like in Sam on today's agenda.
I will second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I would like to point out that one of the items that we are approving is item 2K, like in kangaroo, which is the execution of an interlocal agreement for school resource deputy between Spokane County, 9 Mile Falls School District, and Stevens County, Stevens County Sheriff's Office. We as a board have provided financial assistance for school resource officers for schools in our rural areas throughout the county, but 9 Mile is a unique situation where the school district is actually based in Stevens County, but half of the students reside in Spokane County. And so I'm very pleased to be able to partner with Stevens County and specifically County Commissioner Wes McCart in creating a relationship between Stevens County Sheriff's Office, Spokane County Sheriff's Office, and the 9 Mile School District to provide this resource officer to protect the kids in that school district for both Spokane County and Stevens County. So a unique situation, but I'm very pleased with our partners and how we came together. And I also want to do a shout out to Sheriff Knezevich and his governmental affairs individual, Todd Milkey, for their efforts in making this possible. So thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm just going to say I think this is exciting because this is the last of the students that attend school districts, in or outside of from Spokane County that attend school, and so this is that last school district that will have kids from Spokane County being protected. So I'm excited for that. So thank you. So we do have sorry.
Oh, and I did want to highlight, that extremely important with that partnership with the 9 Mile School District, but also want to highlight today's agenda is continuing our relationships with the same resource officers for our Liberty School District, Deer Park School District, Central Valley, West Valley, Riverside, and Freeman School Districts as well on today's agenda. So wildly important program that we run, and just shows our commitment to keeping our students safe.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so with that, seeing any other comments? None? With that, so the motion is to approve items number 2A through V as in Victor, excluding item number 2S as in Sam. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. That will then take us to we have 3 public hearings today, so that will take us to our first one, item number 3A. And Matt Zarakor, our county road engineer, will be doing the presentation.
All right, I think Ron's going to help me with the presentation here. Thanks, Ron. Again, Matt Zarakor, Spokane County Public Works, here for an establishment. The roads in question are Chatham Avenue, Green Street, Harding Avenue, Briarwood Avenue, Metler Avenue, Hastings Avenue, and Haven Street, and they're all inside the plat of Spring Air Estates. Next slide, please. You can see from this slide on the vicinity map on the left, it's in northern Spokane, up in the Mead area. And on the right there, you can see it's directly adjacent to a portion of the new NSC. Next slide. So this is a zoomed in version of the same plat, and you can see all those roads that we were talking about earlier and how they lay out inside the plat. And with that, I'll read our report. The identified roads have been examined by Spokane County Public Works and determined that they should be recommended for establishment as county roads in accordance with RCW 3681. This examination found that the roadways are necessary to provide access to the platted lots. They have proper endpoints, general alignment, and right-of-way that has been established by survey. The roadways have been designed, constructed, and certified to meet county standards, and with that, I recommend to the board that we adopt these roadways and establish them.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments? Okay, so this is a public hearing. Seeing that there's no comments or questions from the commissioners, I will then open up the public hearing for item number 3A, as was just presented by our county road engineer. Not seeing anybody wanting to come forward or on Zoom, and I don't have anybody listed, so second call for anyone wishing to testify. Third and final call for anyone wishing to testify on item number 3A. With that then, I will close the public hearing and look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I would move that we accept the recommendation of our county engineer in the consideration of establishment of Cheatham Avenue, Green Street, Harding Avenue, Briarwood Avenue, Metler Avenue, Hastings Avenue, and Haven Street, and the plat Spring Air Estates, County Engineers Road File Number 2083 for the Spokane County Public Works Department.
I will second the motion.
I have a motion and a second for item number 3A, as Commissioner French just presented, so I don't repeat the whole thing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. That will take us to item number 3B on today's agenda, which is to consider the limited access on Ross Creek Road from the south section line of Section 23, Township 29 North, Range 45, EWM, north to the end of the road, County Engineers Road File Number 609-40 for the Spokane County Works Department. And we'll get a presentation from Mr. Zarakor.
Thank you, Commissioner Cooney, and sorry about the long, awkward titles there. So this is Ross Creek Road. You can see from the vicinity map on the left, it's in the very northeast corner of the county. If you've ever been on Blanchard Road, it goes up and over the top of the Selkirks there and drops down into Idaho. And on the right, you can see the stub road off of Blanchard that we're talking about is Ross Creek. And next slide, please, Ron. The yellow portion of the roadway that you see there is already under limited access, and the red portion is what we're proposing to add to the limited access for this roadway. It's all under one ownership. The parcels to the east of it, I guess it'd be the northeast, have a different access point that they utilize. And so the only people beyond this are inland paper property, and they were agreeable to that. They have a gate they go through now, so they were fairly indifferent to whether the gate was at the end of the yellow line or the end of the red line, so they're supportive of it. And we have had no other public comment beyond that, so we'll turn it over to the board. We would recommend approving this additional limited access. It is really essentially a driveway for one person in Inland Empire paper when they need it.
Thank you. So this is a public hearing item. So I will open the public hearing for item number 3B as just presented by Mr. Zarakor. I don't have anyone scheduled to testify at this point. So first call for anyone wishing to testify. Seeing none. Second call for anyone wishing to testify. No one is rushing down and no one on Zoom. Third and final call for anyone wishing to testify. Okay, seeing none, then we will close the public hearing. I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I would move that we accept the recommendation of our county road engineer in the consideration of limited access on Ross Creek Road from the south section line of Section 23, Township 29 North, Range 45, EWM, I think that's East Willamette Meridian. Look at me, my goodness. North to the end of the road, county engineers, road file number 609-40 for the Spokane County Public Works Department.
I will second the motion.
I have a motion and a second for item number 3B as presented on today's agenda and stated by Commissioner French. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So with that, that takes us to item number 3C on today's agenda, which is a public hearing, well, is a continuation for decision only from Tuesday, September 13th, 2022, in the matter of confirming the base assessment maps for flood control and water quality in conjunction with the ratio of benefits, number of classes, degree of benefit of the Newman Lake Flood Control Zone District. And with that, we have presenting, I'll let you gentlemen all state your name and titles for the record.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. Ben Bradabo, Water Programs Manager with Spokane County Public Works.
Derek Villar, Water Resources Technician.
Good afternoon. My name is Reese Garrett. I'm a Senior Deputy Prosecutor with our Civil Division.
Thank you. And I think, Mr. Bradabo, you'll begin the presentation.
I will, and thank you very much from the public hearing that we had on September 13th. This is a continuation to what we did is we took the comments we received and summarized them in a memorandum that was provided to you and have available for the public at this meeting. And have figures at the end to describe the properties that are specifically under discussion in this process, and then looking to you to make a decision on the Board of Appraisers' recommendations. So a few options that we have today is to accept the Board of Appraisers' recommendations as is, unchanged. A second option would be to modify them in some format specific to these requests that residents made that are summarized here. A third option would be to modify it in some other format. Or finally would be to reject it and retain the old assessment benefit classifications. So pretty flexible on what can be done, but I have summarized here each of the we had eight people that came up and provided testimony, and we summarized those and can go through a figure to describe those. But I guess as we put all this together and would just like to comment on this long process. This has been a long process, and I would like to highlight Derek Villar's work that he has done and bringing this together. And there's been a big transition in County Public Works, and Derek is the one that's here and has done a great job helping me to understand this process. And then also Ron Valencia was involved a great deal as well. So thank you. Whatever we decide today, thanks to those two. So here we are. So we can go through these if you'd like. We can go through and talk about each of these specifically. I'm happy to do that, and I guess that's what I would recommend is to go through each, and then potentially you could make a motion to either confirm or deny each of these, or alternatively you could confirm or deny all of them. But I would recommend is going through these and then understand where my thoughts are on them, and then go forward from there. So if we could bring up the
I'm going to just double check that my fellow commissioners okay with Mr. Bradbo presenting all of those. Yes.
Okay. And actually what I would say is go to the second to last figure here. That one, yeah. So that one is a graphic. This is the water quality benefit assessment map, and this has call outs for each of the properties where people gave comments. And so we can go through each of those, and they're numbered in the memo, 1 through 8. And so the first one is the one at the far north end. And that was a comment that we received about adding them. They were newly added into the benefit classifications, and they felt that that was not appropriate. What we did is go back and review the meetings that had happened throughout this whole process, and what they did find is that when those were added, they were actually added at a higher classification, and the Board of Appraisers took those recommendations in and lowered them to what is now presented here today. And so so that was actually the first two, 1 and 2, were of a similar situation. The third one is kind of central of Newman Lake there it's called out as number 3 from Mr. Raywinkle. He actually recommended approving the Board of Appraisers findings as presented, and not modifying them, but he's called out as one of the folks that commented as well. So that's 3. The fourth one, it's actually in the next figure. If you could go to the next figure, Ron, was a comment from a resident at the south end. Number 4 is called out. Her concern was that she didn't understand the process and hadn't been notified of that, of what was going on. And so what we did is we went back and looked at notifications we provided to the community, and that's highlighted on page 5 of this. And there's a list, and it's a majority of them are emailed notifications. So we sent out a large number of email notifications. But additionally, there was some public presentations, meeting agendas, public meeting agendas. But what her concern was, the direct mailing that she received in August was the only one that she received, and was very concerned about making a decision. So we've learned maybe better ways to communicate, but this is the summary of what we did do during the Board of Appraisers process. So that's number 4. Any questions on those first 4 at all? No? Okay. Number 5, go down one page, please. Number 5 is kind of central on the side there, the brown one, large parcel center, just on this where the screen is split. Number 5, his comment was previously not included, and it was added to this was added into these under the water quality category, and felt that was not appropriate to be added. And then 6 is a similar concern, a little bit further north on the northeast part, similar concern about shouldn't be added and doesn't receive benefits. We were able to determine that she provided these comments to the Board of Appraisers, and they had heard them and continued to keep that included as a water quality benefit. Number 7 was down at the south end, Hannah Sims. Her comment was similar about notification and hadn't received previous notifications and was concerned about that. She was added under the water quality benefit. She was previously not assessed and now would be assessed under the water quality benefit. And then number 8, the final one is, I'm trying to see that one. Number 8, kind of central, right in the center there, similar on the brown on the east side of the lake. Similar comments about being added for water quality benefits, and felt that wasn't appropriate to add them in there, but had made those comments to the Board of Appraisers and was retained, and then also had comments about using market value versus current use in there as well. So that is a summary of the comments we received. Again, there's options here, is approving it as proposed, modifying it individually. I've prepared a draft resolution that may be able to accommodate any recommendations or decisions that the board might make, but alternatively, might need to draft a different resolution to bring in any final decision that the board has related to this. So, Reese, do you?
Thank you. As stated, the board.
If you can stay seated, I appreciate that you want to stand, but if you stay seated and then turn on the mic and talk into the mic so that everyone can hear on Zoom.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner.
Thank you.
As stated, the Board of County Commissioners may amend or adjust the base maps as proposed by the Board of Appraisers as you see fit. However, it is important to point out that the RCWs, where we received the legislative authority to do this, does provide that there be some deference given to the recommendations made by the board, or the Board of Appraisers, pardon me. And this is especially the case should this matter be litigated sometime in the future. I would just point out that one RCW, just for the record, it's 8609-382, provides in part that it is hereby presumed that the lands within the flood district are benefited in relation to their respective classes. And in addition, RCW 8609-394 states that when the Board of Appraisers is determining how to break up the acreage within the district into classes, that it says, quote, "It is in the sole judgment of the members of the Board of Appraisers, and they shall fairly represent the manifest degrees of benefit." And so the RCW, again, does provide the commission the ability to amend as you see fit, but there is some call for deference to be given to their recommendations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Mr. Ben Bradabo?
Yes, Mr. Bradabo, you indicated that you did have a prepared resolution, or that you would be preparing a resolution. If you have a prepared resolution, I'd like to be able to see it.
Okay.
So that I can make a series of appropriate motions for the board's consideration. So I'm assuming that legal counsel has seen and reviewed the motion that was handed to me.
We have.
And so this motion then would take all the parcels and combine them into a single motion for consideration by the board, as opposed to dealing with each one of them individually.
I think you could do it either way. I think the way the resolution set up, though, is so that you could approve or deny as you move through the resolution. But it really is set up for flexibility. Because if you'll notice on page 2 of the resolution, it has the 8 parcels. Each of those has a thing next to them to approve or deny the protest.
Okay? But I'm just thinking about how to actually structure the motion so that, as the resolution reads here, in the matter of confirming the base assessment maps for flood control and water quality in conjunction with the ratio of benefits, number of classes, degree of benefit, Newman flood control, that motion there doesn't reflect each individual parcel. So how would you suggest that I structure the motion so that I can refer to each one or do I just say we accept the recommendations of our consultants and list the parcels?
You can do that and then say you reject the protest.
The appeal.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. That would be a reasonable motion.
One of the, I guess if we want to call it a protest, but one of the individuals that testified actually told us to adopt it as is. So
That's true.
does that get tricky if we're accepting everybody's quote-unquote protest? One of them wasn't actually a protest.
Yeah, which one was that?
Number 3.
3?
Mr. Raywinkle?
Right.
He actually said, I
Maybe-
want you to adopt this. So
in that case,
I
maybe-
don't want to, I want to make sure we get this right and not have to double back and Have to redo anything here.
We could strike that.
Actually, I think you could say that you accept his because he wants it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That would be another way
Yeah.
to go.
But if you'd like to take them individually, that might be easier, and then do the resolution by one motion. That might be a simpler way.
Okay.
I simply didn't know
So-
what the board would like in terms of you know,
Yeah.
how you would view the testimony and so forth. We don't want
So-
to presuppose any testimony, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, that's all well and good. So, let me, so why don't I go ahead and read the now therefore? And then I will list each one of the parcels that we are rejecting. And then I'll come back and make a second motion for parcel 3, which we are accepting, is kind of how I'm going to structure the motion.
That should be clear
That's-
enough and work fine.
Okay. Madam Chair, are you okay with that? Okay, so, oh, yes. I feel the arrows coming my way already. Madam Chair, I would move that the Board of County Commissioners, Spokane County, Washington, pursuant to provisions of RCW 86.09.433, that the board does hereby reject the appeals filed on the following parcels, to include parcel 1 filed by Jacqueline Cabrile, parcel number 57273.9018, and parcel number 57284.9058. The appeal filed by Thomas Hope, parcel number 57273.9010. And parcel number 57273.9016, filed by Mr. Hoke on behalf of Catherine Lynn and Raymond Lawrence Johnson. And Al Balcom, parcel number 56031.9001, and appeal filed by Juanita Richardson on parcel number 573569012, and appeal number 7 filed by Hannah Sims, parcel number 56142.9074, and parcel number 56142.9075, and appeal filed by Chantal Balcom, parcel number 57353.9007. I think that lists all of the parcels that appeals were filed on, that I'm including in the motion for rejecting their appeal and accepting the recommendation for the base assessment maps confirmed by order of Board of County Commissioners. Did I miss one?
I believe you missed number 4 if you wanted to consider that. I believe that was Melvina Treadaway, parcel 56132.9020.
It's listed sequentially, it's out of order
Oh,
on
I
the
see.
resolution. So I will, how about if I just come back and make a second motion on that? Well, I don't have a second yet, so, and I'll amend to include appeal filed by Melvina Treadway on parcel number 56132.9020.
I will second the motion.
So I have a motion and a second. Flick. That was stated by Commissioner French with all those parcel numbers. I'm not going to restate that motion yet. Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor of accepting the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Then, Madam Chair, I would move that we accept it's not really an appeal, protest on behalf of Dennis Rewinkle on parcel number 56032.0605. And on behalf of Kim Jones, which is parcel number 56032.0601.
All right, I will second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. I just want to say thank you for all the hard work that I know that the Water Resources Department has done from all of you. This has been a long process. I know this is Commissioner Kearns' district, and Commissioner Kearns and Ron Valencia have spent numerous hours as well. So thank you all for the hard work in getting this taken care of. Okay, so with that, that will then conclude our public hearing items, concludes our agenda. Is there anything else that we have, Mr. Simmons?
We do. We have one executive session item.
Okay, and will we do that here?
Sure. If that pleases the commissioners.
Okay, and how long and purpose and who's in attendance?
So that will be under pending and potential litigation. That will include the three commissioners, senior management team, our legal counsel, Mark McLean, Scott Chesney, as well as Jessica Pilgrim. How long? 15 minutes? I would say 20 minutes.
Okay. And do we anticipate a decision?
We don't.
No.
No decision expected.
Okay, is there anything else that we'll be discussing after?
No.
Okay, so there'll be nothing else that will be coming before the Board of County Commissioners. It is 2:35. We will then go into executive session for 20 minutes. And after that 20 minutes, we do not anticipate a decision, and so we will adjourn at that point in time. Thank you all very much for being here. Appreciate seeing you all. Thank you.